Well, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know this is the official podcast of GeoWoodstock 18 right here in the Great Pacific Northwest. Each week we're going to talk about caches and cachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're driving in near zero visibility, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Boy, ain't that the truth lately. Well, it's Thursday night, so grind the internet to a halt, take off your pants, and let's get podcasting. It's time to bring in... Oh, not who you think. No, it's not the land monkey. It's not even the chat lackey or the skookum bear. Some say he has multiple personalities, and others say he knows Gold Country like the back of his hand. All we know is he's called Brylang.
Hello.
At least at the moment.
At the moment. He's answering to Brylang at the moment.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, Brylang, thank you for joining us tonight.
You're welcome.
We'll talk to you in a little bit, but tonight we're going to talk about Waymarks, Adventure Labs, and Virtuals. Oh my!
Oh, so much to cover.
I know.
And what are the similarities, differences, and all that? Compare and contrast. Never mind. Before we go down that road and uncomfortable memory, let's take a second to remind you we appreciate the support of our patrons that make all of this possible. They keep this podcast coming to you every month, and we also want to thank Land Sharks. They are our corporate Denali level sponsor. If you or your friends or anybody want to know more about supporting the show, head over to the CachingNW.com website and click the Patreon link, won't you please?
Oh, so very nice. And when you're there, make sure you submit your glow. A glow? What is that?
What's a glow?
Why, thank you for asking. I just usually ask myself that, and I seem to know what it is each and every week. It's the geocaching log of the week. Whether you wrote it or whether you read it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better.
That's great. How would they get them to you?
Well, an email or a field recording.
Okay.
To feedback@cachingnw.com. You can call in to 253-693-TFTC, or you can use a voicemail tool right there on the website. It's so easy. And show us how you glow.
In this week's glow, we thank Trickster Zero, who sent it via email. Has nothing to do with driftwood sculptures of indigenous birds, but it is all about a funny story. It's a note. This is a note. So see, a glow doesn't have to be a found it or a DNF. This is a note posted for Traditional Cache Settlers of Catan. And it says, funny story. A friend of mine was telling me about a suspicious person that was hanging out by the community library box near her home. She said it looked like he did a drug drop. So she called the RCMP and they attended. She did some investigating prior to the RCMP attending, and she determined that the drug dropped was white-on-white LSD, WOW. Wow. The RCMP said he was surprised because LSD is not a street drug anymore. Anyways, the cop took the paper, and he's having it tested. As she and I talked more, I clued in that she's talking about a geocache. We looked at the cache and realized it's the same cache. She would like to apologize to any geocachers that have had a DNF on this one. We both laughed so hard, especially when I read out Zeppelin 94's comments. She is an embarrassed muggle.
Interesting.
So,
there you go. So, very well done, Wits End. Of course, you read fantastically every night. But you pointed out that a glow doesn't have to be a found log
Yeah.
or a DNF. It could be a needs maintenance. It could be. It could be just a note.
Yeah, we are not going to go down the road of an archive party. So
I don't know what you mean.
I can neither confirm nor deny that ever happened.
Well, folks, if you want to add to tonight's show, use the hashtag virtual, because these are all kind of virtual caches, right? And we'll put that into we'll talk about that along with our topics for tonight. And of course, use the hashtag PATAS to bring up a topic for the after show.
Oh, doesn't quite have the same ring to it.
No, it doesn't.
That's okay. You did well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I tried. Hey, we have a little bit of news, and it's very similar to the glow. So I thought they belonged together. This comes from Dubois, Pennsylvania. Dubois. Now, if it was here in Washington, they'd probably say Dubose or Dubois.
Du Bois, you'd probably say Du Bois, yeah.
It's just not the same.
Like Des Moines, yeah. That's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
not right.
No. The headline, Dubois City Police end up playing the geocaching GPS treasure hunt game, although they didn't intend to. Officers were dispatched to Hoover Avenue for a man who said he saw a woman lift a cover on a light pole, place something underneath, and leave. Officers found a red cylinder sign-in sheet with the outdoor GPS treasure hunt game. They took a moment, signed the sheet, and replaced the item where it was. Thank you, Dubois City Police, for being such good sports.
You know, we all just take it in stride. Oh, another LPC. No big deal. Lift it up. Do you remember the first time you found one of those and you said, wow, those things actually come up? Now, I spent several years as an electrician, so it was no big surprise to me, but there's a lot of people that don't realize that those lift at all.
Yeah.
So
Big surprise to me. It was so cool. And now it's just meh. But, you know, when other people see it, it raises awareness. And not in the good way.
yeah, well, we all are pretty much in a heightened sense of security nowadays. So when you see somebody fiddling with any kind of infrastructure, it could be cause for alarm. So make sure you're geocaching discreetly.
And muggle free.
Muggle free. All right, well, hey, thanks for that news story. We've got through the glow. We've got through a lot of housekeeping items. Let's get to our guest. Bryling's been waiting patiently over there. Look at him waving. See, we can see him. You can see him this week, you, our faithful viewing audience, because we can usually see him behind the scenes as a chat lackey.
So I
But-
shouldn't be making funny faces tonight.
We can see you. Oh, you can make them anyway, but
Oh, okay.
now everybody can see them. So if we don't get all of the hashtag virtual tonight or hashtag FATAS, it's because our chat lackey's doing double duty. So officially, you've been here before and you've been here every week in the pre-show and after show and behind the scenes, but officially for tonight, welcome. You know,
Yeah.
you've been doing Gold Country, we keep hearing. When you finish that, is there anything really left to find?
I keep hoping for a new Geo tour.
Maybe Gold Country Phase 3 will be published just before you... just before you find the last Gold Country cache, it'll pop up and tell you need to find 75 more before you can get that last gold bar. That would never happen.
No.
Okay.
I think it was only 35 more, but
Yeah, but this is Gold Country.
well,
And it's
yeah,
much bigger. There are more caches here to find.
Yes.
true. Nice big ammo cans.
And the
Yeah.
stickers are randomly placed about with no markers telling you where they are. So you can go find
Somebody say stickers.
them.
Ooh. Ah.
May I have the second one, please?
No, that's for my sticker book.
All your stickers belong to us.
Yes, you're supposed to collect 2 per cache. One for
Yeah.
your sticker book and one to send in to get a gold bar.
But do you really need the sticker book?
It's over there in the corner of my desk.
It makes him happy.
I haven't stuck any of them in there yet, you know.
Your tongue is going to get awful tired. Oh, that's why you have cats.
They're pre-stuck.
Oh, okay.
Can you just buy the sticker book full of stickers already? That would be so much easier.
We should talk to Gold Country about that.
Yeah.
We've got a marketing idea for you.
A premium Gold Country membership.
All right, you two, let's get back to topic here.
Okay. What? We're going to talk about 3 types of caches tonight. The first one, well, no, we're not going to talk about 3 types of caches. We're talking about 3 different location-based games. And the first one, a lot of people don't know that much about. It's Waymarking. What is Waymarking, you ask? Well, thank you for asking. Waymarking is a way to mark unique locations on the planet and give them a voice. While GPS technology allows us to pinpoint any location on the planet, mark the location and share it with others, Waymarking is a tool set for categorizing. Excuse me, the smoke has gotten to my throat, so my voice may be a little rough and I may cough tonight, so I apologize to our listeners ahead of time. Okay. Any location on the planet, mark the location, share it with others. Waymarking is a tool set for categorizing and adding unique information for that location. Groundspeak's slogan, the language of location. That's their old slogan, isn't it? Is our goal, and to give people the tools to help them share and discover unique and interesting locations on the planet. So anyone who has a current membership with geocaching.com, whether it be premium or basic, will be able to log in with the same username and password on the waymarking.com website. So the same credentials work on both sides.
There you go. You don't even have to be a premium membership. They just can't give Waymarking memberships away. Even free can get in.
No,
there.
they actually do give them away.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so Waymarking, that is this kind of offshoot of things. But what is a waymark? Because those, of course, make up Waymarking. Waymarking, it says, was born out of geocaching. It's a fork, shall we call it, of geocaching. It's a response to the huge interest created by locationless caches. Locationless caches, for people that have been caching a long, long time, did exist within geocaching.com, but no more. The geocaching.com website was never really designed to support the unique challenges posed by locationless caches, so they spun off Waymarking. Waymarking was born. A waymark is a physical location on a planet marked by coordinates. That sounds vaguely familiar, doesn't it? Latitude, longitude. But it also contains unique information defined by its waymark category. An outdoor maze category, for example, could contain information like price of admission, days of operation, or a statue category could describe the artist's medium and date of dedication. There's a couple of them out there.
Of dedicated artists?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a few. There's almost 1 million of them, to be precise. 944,542 waymarks worldwide. Wow. In 1,120 user-created categories.
I find that interesting that they're user-created categories. There's actually groups of people to help manage waymark categories.
Yeah. You may ask, what is the difference between geocaching and waymarking?
What is the difference?
Well, in geocaching, it's all about the hunt and the treasure at the end, and signing the log, of course. With waymarking, the location itself is the treasure. The primary difference is that no physical object is placed when creating a waymark. This added freedom allows us to enjoy certain locations that have previously been off limits to geocaching, so national parks in the United States, for example. This time, the entire focus is on what can be gained from the location in terms of education, entertainment, or simply your obsessive desire to document the location of every annual Star Trek convention. You know, for a friend.
Ah, yes, of course. They're trekkers, not trekkies. Remember that.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, well, if these things are completely locationless and virtual, you might be wondering, how do you post a log? Once you're logged in to the Waymarking website, you visit the individual Waymark page and you click the Visit Waymark Post Visit link. You just enter a comment and select a visit type, and then you click Submit. Simple as that. You could also choose to rate the waymark and include additional coordinates. I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that. Tidy up the game board, right? It's entirely up to you what kind of information you should include when deciding to post. There's a very free-form attitude about waymarking, it seems. If you really enjoyed it, compliment the owner on their choice of location. And as my mom said, if you didn't enjoy it, keep your comments to yourself. It's a good idea, of course, to include any information about the waymark that you think might be helpful to the next visitor.
There's one thing I'd like to add on that. Some of the waymarks require you to post certain information from the location with your log, or you can't officially log it.
Like your ATM PIN code and thing. No, not those.
That's how that happens.
ATMs, yeah. It's been very profitable for me.
Yeah. I mean, you might post things like, hey, these coordinates were off a little bit. Here's some better ones. Or you really need to come here at sunrise or sunset. It's best right at this time of day. And maybe you include whether you disturbed a whole nest of murder hornets. Or if you know who's coming next and you don't like them, maybe you don't mention that. I don't know. Just saying. You could do whatever you like.
Oh, Waymark. I think Wits End, your mom should have been a Waymark moderator. She would have been very good. Now, Waymarks, I mean, there's a million of them, just about. They're all over. It's very nice during this self-isolation or social distancing time, because a lot of these things you can discover, in your car. You don't even have to get out. So what I want to know, Freiling, or should I call you another name?
No.
Okay.
Not tonight. Tonight he's Breiling.
I won't call you any other names. Do you know if there's any Waymark geocache hybrids? Kind of like a letterboxing hybrid?
Well, as we said a few minutes ago, there's nothing physical placed at the location of a waymark. So technically, no, there isn't. However, before the show, when we were doing some quick research about different types of waymarks that are out there, I looked up letterboxes, and there's over 1,000 actual letterboxes listed on waymarking.com. And those would have physical locations, but those are some of the oldest letterboxes in the world, which may or not be listed on other websites out there as well. So you don't get credit for them as a find on geocaching.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
In the chat, this land monkey guy says, why? Well, I don't know what a land monkey is.
It's a land monkey gook. I don't know what the gook is, but
it sounds Dutch.
Yeah, that must be it.
Yeah. Why are waymarks in a different category than virtuals? How are they different? Well, they're not all that different, but they're not geocaches.
No, they're waymarks.
They're waymarks.
Exactly.
IHAM says, I've created 2 waymark categories. Historic eats, restaurants more than 50 years old. Oh, good. I thought that was food more than 50 years old.
It better not be.
And local neighborhood grocer, small independent groceries that service a local neighborhood. Nice. See, there you go. He's created 2 of the 1,100 different categories. He's so prolific.
He's contributing.
We appreciate him building the game board in multiple areas.
That's right.
Well, that land monkey guy also asks, where do waymarking stats show up? Are they only on the waymarking.com website?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
If you use GSAC and run badge gen out of GSAC, you can include your waymarking stats in your badge gen report. But that's fairly technical and doesn't really count for anything.
Really? I didn't know Badge Gen also did waymark.
Yeah, you can every waymark you can download a GPX file for. You can import GPX files into GSAC.
Of course you can.
And then you can log fines against them in GSAC. They're virtual fines. You only log them within GSAC. And then you can count them as fines for your stats. They go
so
a different category.
Doesn't really count for anything, but it gives you a warm feeling inside.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you, George Brown.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, waymarking, that's completely separate and outside of geocaching, although your membership will get you into that website as well. Let's bring it back a little closer to home to something that most of our listeners are probably more familiar with, and that's Adventure Labs. I'm sure many of you are working out right now where to place that Adventure Lab credit that you've got. Maybe you've already placed it and have got a second one. That's just crazy talk. We have talked about them on a couple of prior episodes, but what about finding them? How on earth do you find these crazy things?
Well, first of all, you have to use the official Adventure Lab app, right? Was it a year ago? Maybe 2 years ago? They ended the, hey, let's just do it on a web page. No, now it's an official app. And I just heard the latest Geocaching HQ podcast where it talked about where Brian talked about adding Adventure Labs onto the geocaching app, and talking with Brian Lang earlier, and that might just be there's an Adventure Lab here, don't miss it. Or maybe, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say could be just bringing it to your attention, but you still need to go to the other app to actually find the Adventure Labs. Are you saying?
Right. To be able to accomplish the different locations and do what needs to be done.
Got it.
Or it could all be integrated into one app. I don't know.
One never knows. Do one.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling it will just be an indicator that there's an Adventure Lab here. Possibly tap it and it opens in the other app. But at the moment, I don't think they have plans to go beyond that. It's just to get them the visibility for them on the Geocachinger app.
And right. So is it just going to be on the official app, or are they going to be in the API that the other applications, the other apps, Cashly,
PC Troy, I think that remains to be seen.
Are they going to be able to pull those as well? So we don't know at this point. I'm speculating, but I'm pretty good at that. So, and it doesn't cost you any extra. So we'll toss that out there. It kind of reminds me of when I was munzing as well as geocaching. You had to have two apps. You were going back and forth all the time. You never knew which one you were in. And did I just walk by something? So just get an extra phone and keep the Adventure Lab open and keep the geocaching app open.
There you go. What could be wrong with that?
And if you munzy, get that third phone.
MC3 Cats apparently is a fan of Adventure Labs because his adventures rock.
Or maybe all his adventures are about stones.
That could be. Yeah, they could be rock adventures.
There you go.
Those are Earth caches.
Okay. We don't have to talk about Earth caches tonight.
No, not on this show, ever.
No.
Oh, what did the Land Monkey throw in? When will Adventure Labs start to be reviewed? Or will they always be a free-for-all? Ooh. Okay, next question. He's just trying to stir the pot.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty good question.
It is a good question, and as far as I know, HQ has no intention of making them reviewed at this time. I have a feeling if it gets abused, that will change, but so far it hasn't been.
Right.
As far as I know, there hasn't been widespread problems with them.
The reviewers are pretty busy already, I would think.
Although it depends on the territory.
Well, and they're not reviewing events currently, so they have a little more free time.
Where you are. If you're in Idaho, there's events going on. I hear that you can do events in Oregon with a limited number of people and outdoors. But as it starts to turn colder and wetter, nobody wants to do that.
Can you even go outdoors in Oregon right now? Can you breathe?
No, it's like a solid mass of smoke outside. As you walk through, it's like the cartoons. You see your shape, your body shape as you walk through the smoke.
Right.
So, Adventure Labs, you've got to use the app. Now, Adventure Labs can be either sequential or in random order. I'm sorry, the locations can be sequential or in random order, depending on what the author wants.
Right.
You know, as we talk more and more about building these, the whole random order thing is so much nicer than sequential. I get sequential if they want to take you on a story, especially if they're going to take you on a loop back to where you started. But, you know, there's times where you want to be able to do things your own way. Typically, it's one stop, one location, one answer. You put that into the app. Now, Adventure Labs have between 1 and 10 locations, right? The personal ones that we're getting that aren't associated with mega events and that typically have 5 locations. Those with mega events, giga events, or, you know, that have been blessed usually have 10 locations. You don't have to use them all. You can only use the ones you want. So pick the really good ones.
Right. I believe you can use 2 Adventure Lab credits to combine them into a 10 stop.
Can you really?
But I don't know how it all works behind the scenes. I think that's how it might work for the ones that the mega events put out.
Oh, here you go. Is referring to, should Oregon people go outside? Subway Marks is the air quality index in Salem for the past week has been above 350.
Ooh, go for the high score.
Ding, ding, ding.
Score? Okay.
Oh, wait. No, don't go for the high score.
I think somebody said.
Somebody said.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep, there you go. In Spokane last weekend, the air quality index was solidly in the upper 400 range. I think I've only seen 250 here, and it's enough that it's bothering.
Yeah, we use a different scale in Canada, and ours is basically is a scale from 1 to 10, and in the Lower Mainland here, it's been 10 plus.
Oh, wait. Oh, so when they built the scale, they didn't think this was going to happen. Wow.
Yeah, we also use a scale of 1 to 10, and we're at 400. No, that's it's that bad.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, Subway Mark said yesterday it was 507 out of a scale of 500.
Okay. Yeah.
Does it go
to 11? Play golf. You want a low score. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh. One big bonus of Adventure Lab, if you're a geocacher, a complete location counts as a geocache find on geocaching.com. Yes, that's right. One location. So you got a 10 location Adventure Lab, you get 10 geocache finds. How
more
cool.
Smileys.
More smileys. Everybody wants smileys.
How can you see the smileys behind the mask?
Oh.
I can see the smileys through the smoke?
Well, that too. See, it's
you can't see anything through the smoke.
It's just hard to see smileys right now.
Yep.
I don't know. Everywhere. 10 plus on that scale.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been terrible. So Adventure Labs, I think we've all done an Adventure Lab, right? It's very similar to a virtual in geocaching. It's very similar to Waypoint.
How would I know if I'd done an Adventure Lab? Maybe somebody doesn't know.
You check your geocaching stats.
Yes, you can. Or you could open up the Adventure Lab app and find the closest one to you. And just go do it.
Adventure Labs. I have done 373 of them.
Oh. Is that on your geocaching dashboard?
It's on my statistics page.
You're all about stats.
It's not about the numbers. It's about the statistics.
Hold on, I'm loading. I can't find it. Lab cache. I've only done 161. That's half of what you've done.
And the funny thing is, most of mine came from Seattle. the last
use for me.
couple of, the last couple of block parties, they had 20 or 30 of them scattered around town. I have a feeling you probably didn't go chasing them.
At the mega events, the last couple of mega events I've done, they've had 30. Did one have 40 or even 50? And it gets to a point of why so many? It kind of takes that special feeling away. That special feeling you get.
It's not that special anymore.
I just don't know that feeling.
Of course, MC3 Cats wants to up the bar, and since he's done 680.
Oh yeah, well I've done 11.
Okay. Lab caches and adventure labs are subtly different, but they lump together in the same score.
Okay.
I can agree with that.
Well, then maybe I've done 0.
Trexer Zero.
Speaking of 0.
410 did his 410th today.
That's 41-0.
Yeah, but the zeros don't count. They're just places. Okay.
All
right.
Shall we talk about virtuals?
Ooh, virtuals. Let's do that.
I have a feeling that most everyone listening has found at least one virtual cache.
Odds are good.
Sure, though. Odds are good.
Wait, I got my stats right here.
Yeah, I have 44. That's 4 times my lab cache count.
Ooh, 68.
Virtuals, 96. Almost at 100, and there's a challenge. The challenge I could log when I get there.
Low score again.
You win at golf.
All right. What about virtuals? Tell us.
Virtuals. Virtual caches are all about discovering a location rather than a container. The requirements for logging a virtual cache vary based on what the virtual cache owner wants you to do. You may be required to answer a question about the location, or take a picture, or complete a task, or combination of those. In any case, you must visit the coordinates before you can post your log. Now you can use any of the geocaching apps to find and log a virtual cache. Several apps allow you to send answers or a message to the CO when logging the find. For example, the official geocaching app has a button. It's about 2/3 of the way down my screen that lets you message the cache owner. So you should do that before you send your log. Generally speaking, they want the answers before you post your log.
Exactly. And, in the cache description, in the virtual cache descriptions, they often say, send your answers first, then go ahead and log it. I've only seen a couple where they say, wait till I respond before you log the cache.
Right. I have a virtual cache up in the Fraser Canyon at Alexander Bridge. It's a historic old bridge from the previous version of the highway that's still standing. And the requirement to log it is that you have to have only one of the bridge pillars in your photo. So basically you have to be standing on the bridge deck to take the photo. And the reason I did that was because it's one of those metal grate bridge decks that you can see through.
Hmm.
And I know there's some people that are afraid of heights. So you got to conquer your fear to log the cache.
Maybe you're not standing very height off the graded bridge deck.
No,
Maybe.
it's just a long way down to the river below you.
But you're
depending if it's spring flooding or not.
Interesting.
All right.
So yeah, I mean the virtuals. There was one I found. Oh, the tower in Astoria. All you had to do was be there and log in. You didn't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I wanted to climb all the stairs to the top, so I did that. Took a picture from up there, but
yeah,
that shocked me that you didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, some of the older ones. I've been to a few that it's just a cache listing. There's not even any instructions to do anything when you get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just gone there, and I've usually just taken a selfie to prove that I was there.
Right.
But I mean, otherwise you can just log them because there's no requirement. But the newer ones, the virtual rewards that have come out in the last 4 or 5 years, they generally have more stringent logging requirements than those old ones.
Mm-hmm.
Basically because most people have experienced some of those easy old ones, and they didn't want to replicate that experience today.
Well, and we can talk a little bit of why virtuals are grandfathered. Why did Groundspeak at the time, or geocaching.com, decide, you know what, we need to stop doing virtuals?
My understanding, and I've kind of heard this story through various podcasts, maybe even this one over the years, was that people were posting virtual caches of, this is the booth where I had my first kiss with my high school sweetheart, and things like that were kind of very personal to a couple of people, but the rest of us don't really need to know. And yeah, they weren't the best quality geocaching experience, let's just say. Some of them were also used to try and get around the commercial guideline and say, hey, come visit my restaurant.
Yeah.
And those kind of got pushed off into the waymarking category along with the locationless caches. But yeah, that's the stories that I've heard.
Exactly.
So as usual, just a few bad apples spoil the fun for everybody else.
Yep.
Just like the governor brings it.
We all had to sit in for detention during recess just because of Joey.
Oh.
And Jason. Don't forget Jason.
Oh, Jason. Yes.
Definitely Jason.
He got expelled from 3 different schools. Mostly involved explosives.
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys are referring to something I don't know about. I'm going to move on to Subway Mark that says, I did several virtuals in Idaho a couple of weeks ago. Many were old. Some of the questions are no longer valid. So perhaps, a sign or an informational plaque is gone now.
Sure.
Count the number of benches. Well, the benches have been removed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or pieces of art go missing.
Yeah.
Then there's this comment here from that Land Monkey guy.
Ooh, he completed a 3-stage virtual today.
I thought that was a 2-stage. Is that Roman numerals?
Oh, that could be.
Yeah. So it's a multi-cache virtual, or multi-virtual.
That sounds fun. I like multis.
Multi-virtual cache. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, that's an interesting concept. Not very many people took the time to go to the effort to build a multi-stage one, but it's certainly an option.
Well, it goes to 11.
MC3 Cat said there's one in McMinnville, Oregon that has several waypoints.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I'm not sure if I found a virtual with multiple waypoints. I'm going to have to go check that out. That could be fun.
Go down to McMinnville.
Yes. I like McMinnville.
Oh, you can go see the spruce there.
Once the smoke clears.
Where the spruce goose ended up?
Yeah, once the smoke clears, I may go down there.
You could do it. It's all inside. So I assume they have pretty good ventilation.
We would hope.
Hugh says, we recently published our virtual reward, a T 4.5 at the top of a mountain for the hikers.
Or the helicopter owners.
Oh, yeah. Oh. A 4.5. Wow. On a virtual. That's really nice.
I have a feeling I know where that is, but I've forgotten.
It's high.
It's difficult. Speaking of terrain.
There. It's,
there you go. GC 8913 kilo.
Subway Mark says, about McMinnville. Spruce Goose is worth a visit. Then there's the McMenamin.
Yeah, he's a McMenamin's. He's been to, I think, every McMenamin's multiple times.
Yeah. And if you get a stamp from everyone, you get free night. Or
get some great rewards there. Get your McMenamin's passport. I've been to one.
I've been to one of those near Beaverton.
I had my birthday dinner at a McMenamin's here in Tacoma last year. Well, this year. Earlier this year. Back when you could go out to eat with your friends. Way back then.
Back in the before time.
Yeah.
You could hold events.
Yeah, back in the olden days. All right. Back to topics.
Anything else in here about virtuals before we move on?
Yeah, see, without our cat lackey, it's hard to keep up.
I know.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Subway Mark here? virtual? Yeah, I think we did talk about that one.
Yes.
The question is no longer valid.
Here's an interesting question. I'm late to this podcast. Can anybody explains why Adventure Lab fines count as GC fines? This is baffling in the long age. No, in the long gauge that is Adventure Labs will have nothing to do with the cache. It's a good question though. Why do Adventure Labs count? I think it came back from the old lab caches when they tried to break off to do something new.
Yeah.
It didn't quite fit in any category. You didn't count them at first, and there was a big uproar because these are experimental.
Yeah, so there was that very first one where you could create an adventure lab for one friend. That was that came out around Valentine's Day that first year. And then
no, this was even before.
Then they brought them out for one of the block parties, and then after that they started showing up at mega events the following year. And then sometime after that, they started adding them to the stats. It took a while before they added them to the stats as fines.
I remember doing, the old web page adventure or the old web page lab caches at a Star Wars event, and you had to go around and find the tags that had different either Star Wars locations or vehicles or characters on them. That was the answer to the, and people are like, well, it's kind of like a geocache, but I'm not getting any credit for it.
And I think that turned some geocachers off from even trying them because they didn't get any credit. So it's like, what's the point? So then they gave you credit for it, so now people do them.
Yeah.
But then that also opened it up to people trying to armchair log them.
Oh boy.
Armchair log them.
Yeah,
but let's not open that.
That's not a hot topic at all.
No. MC3 Cat says the block party in 2013 had the first lab.
I think we did the microbrewery tour after a block party. I don't know how many of those there were.
They did that 2 years. The last two block parties. You got a little 2-ounce mug and you went around and
I have mine. Mine's over there in a box. I can't get it out right now.
I had two of them. I sent one out as a...
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I have one over in Ireland in the hands of Static J. But you may remember hearing his name from Beep's geocaching podcast. He's one of the regular guests on that show. And so it's in his hands and has been for quite a while. And the other one is here in my room somewhere.
Yeah.
Nice. So, well, at least Adventure Labs counts. Of course, virtuals count. Waymarking, that counts on a different website. So there you go. 3 different types of virtual. Boy, I don't know what to say. Virtual
activities
at physical locations. There you go. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to use that from this point on.
You just did. Oh, wait. Okay.
Virtual activity. Dora Moore says, I just explored the waymarking map of my neighborhood. There are several waymarks, and none have been logged since 2016. Do people still play this? Well,
somebody must.
Yeah.
Somebody must. I don't, but somebody must.
Again, it's a good idea if you want to get out and try something new. Maybe, if there's several of these you can find without getting out of your car, so maybe the smoke won't bother you as much.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you need a social distance. There you go. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I joke, but there are places for that, and it's not something that interests me, but that doesn't mean that somebody else might not get a lot of enjoyment out of it. So get out, give it a try.
Exactly.
So there was one other one in here. This one. How do I time the release of my Adventure Lab with publishing of my bonus cache?
Oh,
We should ask a reviewer
We
that
should ask the
question.
reviewer
I have
that question.
no idea how you do
Well, we
that.
do that.
I don't even know
Yeah.
who to ask.
So you submit your geocache, and when it's published, you publish your Adventure Lab. You can ask your reviewer for a specific date and time in your reviewer note, and they will try and accommodate that if they can.
Oh, yes, I've done that. As part of a large coordinated group here in Tacoma. And we all, So I have done that. So, I know what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Great. There you go. UDAC says, I never played Waymarking. Couldn't figure out how to log. Well, there you go. Now you know. You just go to the website, waymarking.com, and log in with your geocaching credentials and find them. Just log them. There's no app that I'm aware of.
I think there used to be. Maybe there still is. I don't know.
I think there was the mobile-friendly web pages at one time. Kind of that WAP interface. But I don't think there was an app.
Okay.
I don't think this website is mobile friendly.
It is with the bigger phones. Or tablets.
A
Yes,
phablet.
It's not even responsive. Maybe a little bit.
No, it is not. They haven't put any work into it.
You know who is responsive? It's our chat room, and we appreciate everybody in there.
For sure.
Oh, I see something in there. I can't say it myself, but somebody else has said it. There it is.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, but since you can't
Well,
say...
that land monkey guy said something.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
I wonder if I can block him.
I'll do that. Our thoughts and prayers go to those that are affected by the fires and this incredibly thick smoke, which apparently breaks all the scales that we've ever seen. And of course, we want to thank our listeners, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Now, next week, Land Monkey returns, and we're going to learn what a monkey does. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay. What does the monkey sound like? No. What does the monkey say? No, that's different. Never mind. That is what a monkey says, actually. Yes. If you have poofling it now. I would also like to take a quick moment to thank Landsharks. That's Landsharks with a Z. They are our corporate Denali level sponsor. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor and geocaching store. Go check them out online. And they still ship online orders daily, pandemic or not.
That's so very nice of them. And of course, we want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters. That is Landsharks, JP Geo Designs, Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, and Cash. If you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website. Just like V Pendragon,
Genies,
Billy Robson,
Ala Robrick,
Limax,
Segehove,
Camp Clay,
T. Sayer.
Boomer 365. Oh, sorry, baby.
There you go. Kennel Barb,
Kid Vegas 19,
Acker Duck,
Fairwood West,
Kev MacD,
Green,
and Teus.
the Geo Travelers,
Broncos fan for life.
Geo Nav Pros,
Sprouter,
Team Noltex,
Logwork,
Seebeck Tribe,
You Talks to Rocks,
Wet Coaster,
LG 9000, Keats 94,
GSM ×2,
MC3 Cats,
Tick Magnet,
Wino Seattle,
on a boat,
Trexer 0,
M-Nerve,
Doramore,
CRS 98,
Subway Mark. All right. Hey, Brian, thanks for hanging out with us, whether you're one of your personalities. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you directly and bypass the two of us yahoos, how would they do that?
You can go to about.me/Brylang.
Well, that's very succinct. That's awesome. And as far as we're concerned, well, he's Chris of the Northwest. I'm Wits End, and often there's a monkey here somewhere, but maybe he'll be back one of these days. If you head over to the CachingNW.com website and look at the hosts link, you'll find more about all threes of us and find ways to reach us.
And I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Don't forget that you can be part of the show. Call in 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment, ask us a question, or mail us a bag of mountain air any time of the day or night. Of course, you can email us at feedback@cashingnw.com. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, click the Patreon link on the cashingnw.com website and subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. Give us a thumbs up or a review. The show is produced by Chris Umpenauer, Jim Paulwitz, and Jay Kennedy. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Copyright 2020 by Chris Umpenauer. Folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
Apparently, I have to hit the button harder.
The After Show.
There you go.
Oh, the after show, the after show. Speaking of the after show, hashtag for the after show, hashtag FATAS. We have the first question from, is this, oh gosh, the handle just went right out of my head.
I want to say green words.
Green words, there you go, thank you. Should you be able to add a bonus cache to an Adventure Lab months after it was released?
Ooh. Can you can edit an adventure?
You can edit your Adventure Lab at any time. And if one of your locations changes, let's say a piece of art goes missing,
Okay.
you could move that location somewhere else if you want. Maybe the art got moved a block away down the street to a new location. Change your Adventure Lab, fix it up. Adding a bonus cache to it should not be a problem, I don't think, because anybody who has completed it can go back and see all the completion graphics that you've provided. And most of the Adventure Lab bonus caches are being hidden as the clues are in those completion images. So
Okay.
people are putting in A = 1, B = 6, whatever the numbers are to solve the puzzle on the bonus cache page.
So it's not like if you found it and then they went and modified it that your find would go away.
No,
Yeah.
you can't lose your Adventure Lab
Okay.
finds unless you delete them yourself, and then there's no way to get them back.
Okay.
Like you can't relog it as a find again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently there's a bit of a black hole there. If you delete it, you can't relog it. But yeah, you should be able to add a bonus cache later.
You know,
I see more
Adventure
fat
Lab,
us.
Adventure Lab related episodes seem to make the chat go wild since Trexer.
Our chat's always wild.
Yeah, as well as you know. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some nights it's wilder than others. That was a real word.
It was
Wilder.
very good, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, also Fatas, Keats94, we've had him on the show, is heading off to Victoria tomorrow.
So that means his house is unguarded.
Yes, but it also means that he must be heading for the Land Shark store.
Ooh. Okay.
Maybe he'll bump into a land monkey.
It is possible.
You never know. You never know where those monkeys are.
Shark.
They're unpredictable.
And the monkey has a milestone alert.
Ooh, he should call that in as a field recording, or no. It's
Okay,
not going to
1,
be up there for
2,
long.
3.
I'm hands off. I haven't clicked anything, just so you know.
We can't all click at the same time. It just doesn't.
Well, if we all did it, then it should show up.
It's because we're odd. I mean, there's an odd number of us.
Yes.
Okay, so he has the 600th easy cake. No, eclair.
Oh, eclairs. Those are good too.
I don't know what a EC is. It's just
It's got to be eclairs, and the 7th fizzy. Those must be pops. Fizzy
Pops. Yeah, he's out having junk food, and he's
So-
loopy because
okay.
it's loop completed.
Mhm.
Very loopy.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations to the monkeys. We know that Mrs. Monkey did most of the work.
That's all we see in the video.
Except for the earth caches. We know Mr. Land Monkey did those.
Yeah, that's too much like homework.
if Greenwords needed some support, UDAC says I have no issues with the late Adventure Lab bonus.
Okay.
There you go. And Subway Mark here had his 5,000 milestone in Idaho 2 weeks ago.
Well, congrats to that Subway Mark as well.
Well,
That's
congrats
fantastic.
to you, Subway Mark. We'll have to have you on a show where we talk about, I don't know, milestones in Idaho.
Yeah.
We can go Subway marking.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Subway marking. Yeah. That's another site under Waymarking.
Yeah, it's below. Down below.
Very good.
Doramore says, I thought you couldn't change the location. We're back to Adventure.
I think we heard it from a reviewer here
As far
somewhere.
as I know, you can edit them to wherever you want them to be at any time. They're not locked.
And so
I have not tried it myself.
could you totally go and change your Adventure Lab?
I think you could if you really wanted to.
Doesn't seem right.
No, it doesn't.
It's because there are no reviewers involved.
Oh,
For now.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
But only for now. But
Congrats.
only for now.
Keith says he's not away from 12,000. He's not far.
Oh, that's fantastic. I would have you all come back here to the podcast for my 12,000th find, but none of you will live that long.
Oh, no worries. We'll get a bunch of Adventure Labs. They all count. Each one of the locations.
Oh, okay.
Still can't change the number of locations.
Oh, okay. Well, any more for the after show chat here?
I think we're clear.
I think we're right up against the Land Monkey's bedtime. We need to sign this episode off.
Folks, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Until next week. I want to say get out, but I want to say stay in.
Yeah, boy, stay in an air-conditioned car in Waymark.
There you go.
There you
Maybe.
Northwest.
Okay.
Good, everyone.